Hi friends, today we're discussing about Azure Microsoft Identity platform. So we'll see what is Microsoft Identity platform. So Microsoft Identity platform will help us to perform authentication authorization for our application users, where the users can use work or school accounts, that means organization accounts, or Microsoft accounts like Skype, Outlook, etc., or social accounts like Google, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Okay, so now you understand where it will be suitable in our application. That means it's purely authentication authorization. Okay, so now we will discuss why we need to use Microsoft Identity Platform. Why not implement our own authentication authorization? If you see in our legacy systems, all we are using our own authentication authorization, right? So we will discuss. So next screen, if you see here, I just keep it the screen here because we understand what are the things we want to perform if we want to implement our own authentication authorization. The first thing is create and manage the database, right? We need to create the table, right, for the registration tables and master table of the users. Everything we need to create and manage ourselves. And second step is we should implement the registration API, login API, profile API, that means user profile API, forget password, change password, and you need to write the logic, generate the JW token, and you need to write the logic for the validating the token. You need to again write one more API, refresh the token, right? These are all things we need to write if you want to write your own authentication authorization. And other than that, if you want to support to social accounts, again you need to integrate all social account libraries, Twitter, Facebook, Google, whatever you want to support, everything you need to integrate, right? So and and if you want to support Microsoft accounts also, then you need to integrate those libraries also in our application, right? So this is the stuff we need to do if you want to implement our own authentication authorization. So so now you understand, right, why we need to use Microsoft Identity platform. Not only this, there are some other additional features also providing by Microsoft Identity platform. We'll see in the next screen. Okay, sorry. See now here, Microsoft Identity platform advantages. See the first point, whatever we discussed in the previous screen, that is, I'm telling, we don't want to implement our own authentication authorization, token validation, refresh the token. Okay, these are things we don't want to implement, right? And if you use Microsoft Identity platform, so and it is complete decouples our user management. This authentication authorization generally called as user management, right? Changing password and forget password, they all will come under the user management. It completely decouples user management into from our application, right? And it can support integrate any type of applications like single page web application, web API, desktop application, background services, IoT. It will support all types of applications. That is one more advantage. And it will support single sign-on. So you know, right, what is single sign-on? So generally in our organization, we have more than 10 applications for employees. Like, for example, you want to fill the timesheet, you want to see your pay slips, or you want to apply leave. So for each one there is any one separate application, right? Okay, so if you want to enter everywhere your username password, it will be really irritated to the user. That is the reason this single sign-on came up here. So once you logged into one application in the browser, if you want to open other application in the same organization, right? So you don't want to enter your credentials. Okay, even if you log in today, tomorrow again you don't want to enter. There is some expiry time, and until unless you delete the cookies manually and browser history, then only you need to enter the credentials. So that is the single sign-in. That means once you log in into one application, and if you open multiple applications in the same window for the same organization, you don't want to log in again into the other applications. It will automatically manage behind the screens, behind the scenes. Okay. And another advantage is conditional access and multi-factor authentication. So how will achieve conditional access with the help of the role-based? That is called authorization, right? So there is an user, admin, manager, like that, right? So with the help of these roles, we are able to protect the resources. Based on the specific role, we can provide the specific resources that it will support. And another one is multi-factor authentication. So it is multi-factor, two-factor authentication. That means you are enter username and password. After you log in successfully, again it will ask the enter OTP in your mobile. It will send that OTP to either your email, or it will be might be your Microsoft Authenticator application. There is a Microsoft Authenticator application. You can enable that, and you need to install that app into your mobile. Then it will send the OTP to your Microsoft Authenticator app. Okay, there you need to enter that OTP. That means there are two levels of authentications. That is called two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, right? And last point is it supports authenticate a person, mission, as well as software application. That means application to application, it will be authenticate and authorize itself, not only users, user to application. These are the additional advantages with the help of the Microsoft Identity platform here. So actually, why we are discussing now the theory here, because before going to do any practical, that means if you want to integrate Microsoft Identity platform into your application, any type of application, okay, we should understand few of the concepts. We should understand few of the concepts and terminology. Okay, that is the reason we are discussing here. Sorry for uh, telling later. Okay, so one of the concept is Microsoft, uh, sorry, IAM, that is identity and access management, nothing but authentication authorization. It ensures, IAM ensures that the right person, mission, or software component will access right resource at right time. That is the IAM. Okay, how it will do? It will do with the help of the authentication authorization. First, the user should authenticate itself. Then it will ask the user, so and so application trying to access your profile. Okay. Then it will either the user approve or deny. Once user is approved, then only it will allow to access. Then only it will allow the client application to access the client resources. Right. So that will through IAM here. That is the concept of IAM. Okay. That we call as IAM. Okay. So here IAM, how IAM works. So see friends, in this diagram, three components are there. One is applicant, another one is resource server, another one is identity authorization server. So friends, you consider any e-commerce application. Okay, this is e-commerce server, this is e-commerce application like Amazon, Flipkart, anything, Mintra, anything. Okay, what we will do, so when you log in into the application, okay, so you want to see your previous purchase orders and invoice, current order. Okay, you need to send the request client application to resource server, right? So but the resource server will allow only, will allow the request only which is having the access token. Okay, if the access token not there, it will not allow, it will throw an error 401 unauthorized user or bad request if the token is not there itself. Okay, so the client application knows where it will get the token. The token it will get from the identity server or authorization server. This is our Microsoft Identity platform. Okay, so it will send the request, and if the valid user, okay, if the validation is successful, then it will return the access token. Then that access token pass to the resource server along with your request. Suppose you want to fetch the your order details. Okay, if in the behind the scenes research server send that access token to identity server. If the token is valid, then only it will return the proper response to the application, that your client application. If the token is invalid, it will throw an error 401 unauthorized user. Okay, this is the way IAM works. Okay, now I just wanted to keep the screen here, app registration. Why I want to add the screen here? So friends, client application is done by somebody, some developer, some organization, somebody done, and identity server related to Microsoft. So how these two applications trust each other. Okay, so that means how identity server knows this request is coming from valid application or not. At the same time, the client application, how the trust that token, this is sent by the identity, the proper identity server or not. Okay, so how this trust is established between these identity server and client application, that is through app registration. So Microsoft provide one of the concept, app registration. So the client application, we need to register into the identity server. Once you registered the client application into the identity server, they will provide some claims. That one of the claim is application client ID. So this application client ID uniquely identifies your application in the identity platform. Okay, and it is included in the your access token whenever it is issues the token. Okay, so this is the way the client application identity server to trust each other. Here, authentication authorization standards. That means what is the standard Microsoft Identity Platform follows? We should understand, right? Because we are using Microsoft Identity Platform. What are the standards they are using internally? Okay, so then only we have we have the confidence to use the Microsoft Identity Platform. We know so Microsoft company is very big company, so we should blindly use it. But as a developer, we should understand what are the protocols they are using internally. So that is the reason this screen came here. So they are using OAuth 2.0 and OpenID Connect. So OAuth 2.0 is the standard protocol to implement the authorization. Okay, this is widely used in the e-commerce application and social media applications. Okay, if you see here, LinkedIn, Google Pay, Google, PayPal, Netflix, Facebook, everywhere it was used this OAuth 2.0. Okay, this is the latest version OAuth 2.0. Okay, and another one is OpenID Connect. OpenID Connect is used for the authentication layer. It is used for authentication. It is the authentication layer in the OAuth. Okay, this is this is following the REST and JSON protocol. Okay, instead of XML. XML is used in the SAML. SAML is alternative for OpenID Connect, but we don't want to discuss here. But it is the alternative for OpenID Connect. But it is support SAML support XML. Okay, so these are the standards Microsoft using internally for authentication authorization. So friends, next screen is roles in OAuth 2.0. Okay, what are the roles? If you talk about OAuth, so there are four roles. Okay, so those four roles are, first one is identity server or authorization server, and the second one resource server, another one resource owner, and client. These are the four parties. So in the authorization authentication flow or exchange. Okay, so what happened in the authorization server? Authorization server roles here: authenticating and validating, the authenticating and generating the token and refreshing the token, right? So these are the things happening in the authorization server. Okay, and resource server, what resource server is doing? Resource server is protecting the resources. So it will allow the access only for valid users which are having the proper barrier token. Okay, that is the resource server. You just here examples are any server, any Flipkart or Mintra or any Amazon, those are having servers, right? There only the data is persisted. So that server here, this one. Okay, and client is nothing but a client application. Our Mintra app, Flipkart app, Amazon app, those are the applications, those are running in the either browser or mobile or some IoT devices, some applications. Okay, so what the client will do? The client knows where to fetch the token, and how to pass that token to the resource server. That is the and what is the response coming from the server that is displaying into the client application. This is the client application. Okay, this is the resource server, and final one is resource owner. So what is resource owner here? Resource owner is nothing but a end user. Yes, because whenever client is sending a request to the identity server, okay, once that credentials are valid, It will ask the client again back. So so and so application is accessing your data. Can we allow or not? Okay, once the end user is approved, then only this client application will able to access your data. So all these resources, whatever may be resource here or here, that is belongs to end user, right? That is the reason we are called as resource owner. It might be profile information, it might be a order information that is belongs to end user, right? That is the reason we are called as resource owner. Okay, yeah, that's all it, friends, in this video. So next video will come up with the Microsoft Identity Platform integration with the single page application. Okay, yeah, if you like this video, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you.